Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Church of Hot Thoughts. This is our 19th episode so far. Glad to have you here on this beautiful Sunday morning, as well as it being St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day to all you viewers out there. Again, hope it's a wonderful morning for you. It's bright and sunny out here in Hartwell, Georgia. The sun is out. My pepper plants are outside now, getting tempered to the elements, if you will. They're loving it. I'm loving it. It's a great, wonderful day to be above ground. Thanks for joining me, and let's get into this. So we've got some stuff coming up in the pepper community. You have a couple new challenges that came out from League of Fire. You have the Fiorana, which is a smelly fish and also a spicy fish challenge. I've got one of those on the way. Can't wait to do that one. They also have the What the Fudge challenge, and I believe there was another one that came out, but I'm not quite sure off the top of my head. That's right, the new Chug challenge that they just came out with. So please go check that out, leagueoffire.com. Get it there. Wonderful people. Plus, I think in the month of March, you get something extra added to your order. So, if you're already going to get some challenges, might as well get something for free as well on top of that, right? Let's go ahead and check them out. Today's going to be a great program. We've got some products from Seed Ranch Flavor Company, recently featured on Hot Ones. We've also got some more spices from our friends over at TNT Spices out of Pennsylvania. Really do appreciate them sending products. Both of these companies sending products. Really appreciate it, and definitely looking forward to trying those today. So let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Let's get started. Yum. I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those adults that I definitely still enjoy the crisp flavor of a nice glass of milk. So that's what I'll be using for my palate cleanser today. First and foremost, let's go ahead and get into those spice rubs. Let's go ahead and check out. First one we got today is going to be the barbecue pork rub from TNT Spices. Again, loving the artwork. Look at that guy. He's having a grand old time. Maybe cooking up a family member, I guess, if it's a barbecue pork rub. But he's having a good time. He's barbecuing. I'm sure this is going to be delicious. I haven't been disappointed yet by TNT Spices, so I'm sure this one will be wonderful as well. But we'll go ahead and have a look here. Ingredients on this one are going to be brown sugar, mustard, smoked paprika, chili powder, salt, cumin, black pepper, cayenne, and hickory smoke. Definitely looking forward to this one. Let's go ahead and try this bad boy out here. Oh, wow. Okay, so for sure, and again, thus far with some of the spice rubs that I've had from TNT, they do really good job at incorporating the hickory smoke flavor without having it being overpowering, which is very hard to do if I'm being really honest with you. Usually people end up adding too much, whether they're using liquid smoke or some kind of smoking product like a dry rub that they're trying to add to it. This is really nice. You definitely get the hickory smoke, and you get the nice brown sugar essence that's coming through. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of that. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. So the brown sugar goes right into the hickory smoke, and then right at the tail end, you get a nice little cayenne flavor base that's going on there. Already, I can definitely tell you that this would be beautiful on a piece of pork. A nice pork belly, pork ribs. Even if you wanted to incorporate in like some fennel seed or something like some kind of cased sausage, like this would be delicious as well as putting that in there. Not getting a whole lot of the cumin But that's kind of good. Maybe it's just like in there. It's enveloped in there as far as a separate base flavor. There's a little bit of the heat. Okay. Yeah, that cayenne comes out beautifully. You definitely get the essence of like the rusticness of the chili powder and it being in there, but it's not overpowering. You get a nice full range of flavors that are going into that one. That's really super delicious. Again, it'd be perfect for any kind of pork products, to be honest with you. Maybe even a nice like grilled pork chop. Oh my goodness, right? I don't know about you guys, but I like to have a little bit of applesauce with my pork chops. I think that's a northern thing to do, but it's absolutely delicious. That'll change the game, your pork chop game, if you've never tried that before. The barbecue pork rub, TNT Spices out of Pennsylvania. I definitely get that a solid 8.5 out of 10. Very, very delicious. Next up, we got the bourbon coffee rub. Look at that guy. He's stirring himself in some bourbon into himself. It is St. Patty's Day after all. So, how's it going, Jason? Over at Late for Work. Thanks for joining us. You got the bourbon coffee rub. Again, over from TNT Spices out of Pennsylvania. Great producers, great people. Love what they're doing over there. Company that's just starting out, but really, honestly, they're going to take the pepper game by storm a little bit, I feel, because they've got some quality products that they're putting out. See what we got going on as far as the smell-wise goes on this one. Ingredients on this are going to be coffee, brown sugar, chili powder, salt, smoked paprika, garlic, cocoa powder, cocoa nut powder, onion, bourbon, cayenne, and cinnamon. Oh, wow, okay. You definitely get the coffee. What else am I getting there? It's coffee, but it's the onion powder. That's what it is. You get a coffee, a nice background of onion when you're smelling it first off. Okay. Let me go ahead and cleanse the palate for this real quick. The coffee is like a nice, it smells like a nice roast, but it's, again, also not too overpowering to where you're getting other notes in with the smell. Coffee is also another one of those. It's very hard to get right. For those that have like maybe ever experimented with any of these coffee sauces that are out there. I believe we had a TNT sauce that we actually tried on air that was pretty delicious. But again, not overpowering. Had a nice little berry accent to it as well. Or sweetness. Got some beautiful, beautiful quality ingredients in this. You can tell because it's not like fully pulsed up. There's definitely certain aspects of this that are congruent with grabbing onto your taste buds a little bit more. So maybe you have the coffee that's ground up so that it's not too overpowering with the rest of the stuff. And you have larger ingredients. That way they can take up more space on your palate. So that way they play well together. That's a very interesting flavor profile. So you don't really get a whole lot of the coffee flavor. You definitely get onions. You get a little bit of that sweetness from the bourbon. That's what it is. It's almost like an oakiness quality about it that's added to it. It's very nice. It's subtle. There's no sting to it because it's in powder form. So you're getting, wow. You're getting the overall flavor of bourbon, but without having any alcoholic burn. That is very, very good. Wow. That's very interesting. Honestly, this put into some meatloaf before the cooking process. You could just, if you've never experimented with candied bacon before, some of this on there to give it a nice, like, again, that oakiness that's about it, with a nice rounded flavor with the onion powder, the bourbon. That smoked paprika comes out a little bit too, which is great because that smokiness from the paprika kind of intertwines with that bourbon flavor. So it really, really plays well together. That's really good. This might be my favorite one so far. This one's going to be gone by the end of the week, I think. And that's the bourbon coffee rub from TNT Spices out of Pennsylvania. If you guys haven't checked them out yet, please go check them out. Great people, great company, delicious products. I'm just now getting a little bit of a slight burn from the cayenne in the back of the throat. Solid chicken breast here and a chicken breast with this on it. You get a nice impact of flavor. Great ground up because you can tell these different spice blends playing with each other. They're going to all need to be the same consistency in order to get the overall envelopment of the spices. The curry. Doing a nice tandoori chicken with this, bomb. Nice element of herbs and spices going on. It hits you right in the front part of your palate. There's a nice salt content to it. Very, 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 would pair very well with a nice lean meat, especially with chicken. But honestly, I could see me putting this on other stuff as well. Just like a finishing on like some nice like sauteed green beans, doing in some like garlic or something like that. Finishing this off with that earthiness and that freshness coming from the greens of the green beans mixed in with this. It'd be a beautiful flavor. That cumin finishes it off so nicely without like, most of the time when you get cumin, you automatically think like a Latin flair to it. You're not really getting this from this because of like that curry aspect. You're getting different regions of the world playing with each other, and it really does work really well together. Wow, really nice salt content. You're getting a mix of flavors, and you're getting just the right amount of salt content in order for those different flavors to pop, but without having it be too salty. Which again is something that sometimes does happen quite a bit when people are doing rubs. Maybe they think that salt needs to be a big player. It really doesn't. There's a lot of really great salt-free seasonings out there on the market that are great, especially somebody watching their sodium intake. This is delicious. This is a nice little 8 out of 10 for me. Nothing wrong with that. Eat more chicken rub. Tastes great. Works well. A lot of different things you could use this for. Again, TNT Spices out of Pennsylvania. Appreciate you sending those products for us to try out. And appreciate you putting the trust in me for me to be able to test out your products. Okay, so I got these sauces sent to me a couple weeks ago from Seed Ranch Flavor. You can find them on Facebook. Find them on Facebook at Seed Ranch Flavor, or on Instagram at Seed Ranch Flavor, or you can go to their website, seedranchflavor.com. These were just recently on Hot Ones, so good job to Seed Ranch Flavor for getting your product on Hot Ones. One thing we know for a fact, that when you have your product on Hot Ones, there's no filler, which means no xanthan gum in order to fix the viscosity of your sauce or your product. So I love that. Also, both of these are truffle sauces, which is great because there's only really like one or two big players as far as truffle sauces are concerned in the community. Um, we know who they are. I'm not going to mention them by name because they haven't sent me product, and that's okay. But this one's going to be Truffle Fire. I love the logo. That wolf with like the flame coming up, like up its shoulders and onto the head. Seed Ranch. Definitely, this would pop out on a shelf if I saw it. Truffle Fire, gourmet truffle hot sauce. And where are these guys out of? Boulder, Colorado. So, Colorado products right here. For those that don't know or haven't experimented or cooked with truffles before, a lot of things on the market are made with truffle oil. A lot of cheaper stuff is made with a truffle oil, and it's not really truffles. It's like a man-made flavor base, which is fine if you know how to incorporate those things. Some people, it's kind of like with what is that? Greenery. It's kind of like cilantro. So for some people, cilantro tastes like soap. It's like 30% of the population it tastes like soap. That's unfortunate for you because I love cilantro. But with something like truffle oil, when it's man-made, a lot of people get like almost like a gasoline-y kind of like smell to it. It's definitely if you ever like tried that and tried real truffle oil, there's a very large difference. But if you never experienced it, I mean, it's enough to where you kind of get the overall experience of what truffles are like without having to spend all that money, because truffles are expensive. So on this one we got crushed tomato, water, white vinegar, truffle, pepper blend, which ghost pepper, Carolina Reaper pepper, chili de arbol, summer truffles. So there's real truffles in this. Salt, vegetable fiber, organic and natural truffle flavor, dates. Ooh, dates. Interesting. Carrots, garlic, olive oil, chickpea, miso, sea salt, natural yeast, smoked paprika, kelp, konjac. And they're all non-GMO ingredients stored in a cold dry. Oh, all non-GMO ingredients. So very, very cool. Truffle Fire. We'll go ahead and give this guy a try right here. Oh my. Okay. Right away you get the truffle essence that comes up. It's like an earthy, umami kind of flavor profile with just like it's not like a sweetness, it's almost like a tang, but it's like an uplifting, not sharp flavor profile that comes after that earthiness. Wow, this smells amazing. Okay, Truffle Fire. Go ahead and give this a shot here. See what the consistency's like. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Again, no xanthan gum because it's been on Hot Ones, so we know that for a fact. It wasn't on the ingredient list. No shelf stabilizers. That's amazing. All non-GMO. The way the viscosity moves around, it's absolutely fantastic. Not too pureed, but I don't see any chunks in there either. That's right where sauce should be. You should kind of be able to see some of the components in the sauce itself without like having super big chunks in there. Oh man, this smells good. Cheers. Mmm. Wow. Again, not too sharp. Nice truffle flavor going on. Nothing wrong with xanthan gum, Brian. I just prefer not to have it. Plenty of great sauces out there that use it. I'm just like, if you can, to not use it, I'd prefer it. That's just me. That's my personal preference, and that's okay. The flavor on this is a great, great flavor profile. You have a beautiful, outstanding truffle essence going through, and as soon as that rolls off the tongue, which the truffle flavor stays there throughout, you get a nice rise of that pepper mash that they got going on in there, which again is going to be ghost pepper, Carolina Reaper pepper, and chili de arbol. So you get a nice sharpness with the Reaper, a nice dull heat with the ghost pepper, and then you get a nice rustic earthiness from the chili de arbol. And those all three joining together, along with that earthiness and that semi-sweet tang that happens with the truffle, very, very enjoyable. Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind with this, I love tortellini, like a nice cheese stuffed tortellini. It tastes like it would absolutely knock it out of the park. Wow. Definitely not anything I've tasted on the market so far. Very, very unique. Very, very subtle flavor profiles, yet working all together to make something that's very, very different than what's out there. The heat doesn't stick around too long. It dissipates nicely. Wow. I think that slight sweet tang is from the dates. Have you ever had dates before? I love working with dates, whether it's in the kitchen or with sauces. It's a very unique sweetness that's out there, and very good as far as being able to add a sweetness to something without using processed sugars. Is very, very unique, very, very delicious. Wow. I'm going to get another spoonful of that. That's how good that was. Again, that consistency is so gorgeous. Wow. Wow. Guys, this is a solid 9.5. This is a great sauce. You could use this for burritos. You could use this for fajitas. You could use this as a marinade before searing. You could use this as a finisher on like a nice steak. Really, the possibilities are endless. Anything that you're looking to add that nice rustic sweetness and earthiness tones to a finishing plate or a dish. Wow. That one, I was expecting good things because you don't just make it on the hot ones for nothing. But that's really impressing me right now. That's a really good quality sauce. Again, out of Colorado. So next up, we've got. Oh, and the heat for the truffle fire, I'd probably give that a. It's like a 2. A nice 1 or 2, maybe for the average Joe it'd be maybe a 5, because that Reaper is in there. But that's delicious. That's definitely a good quality sauce. Next we got the Truffle Hound. Gourmet truffle hot sauce, again from Seed Ranch Flavor Company. Appreciate them again for sending these products here. Truffle Hound, so it looks like a less hotter version of the truffle fire. Got crushed tomato, filtered water, white vinegar, truffle pepper blend, ghost pepper, chili de arbol, truffle juice, summer truffles, salt, vegetable fiber, organic and natural truffle flavor, dates, carrots, garlic, rice vinegar, olive oil, chickpea, miso, sea salt, nutritional yeast, smoked paprika, kelp, and agar. So just a little bit different flavor profile, and you're not seeing that Carolina Reaper in there. So it should be a nice little slider heat base to it, as well as some different ingredients to give it a nice little just different contrast of flavor than just being the same sauce without another pepper in it. So let's see what we got going on here. Oh my goodness. On some chicken wings though. I'm going to have some of these on some chicken wings. Wow, let me give this Taylor Swift real quick. Let me shake it up. Shake it up. Almost like a there is like a kind of like a funkiness that comes from the truffles, and maybe that's why I think tortellini would play so well with it. But I'm definitely getting, especially with this less hot one, I'm definitely getting like a cheese funk, which like in a good way, from the smell of it. I mean, I could probably just drink this. Oh yeah, much milder. Still just as delicious. You definitely get like that zing that you get from the Carolina Reaper is kind of replaced a little bit with the vinegar, but not to where you'd think it was a vinegar-based sauce, even though it is. Wow, a beautiful funk to it from the truffles themselves. And like I was speaking on the other sauce earlier, is you can clearly tell that they're using quality ingredients. They're using actual truffles because the flavor is so on point, and it's not like a gasoline-y kind of flavor. It's not sharp. It's not in your face. It doesn't take up your sinuses or go up your nose as you're eating it. It's very strong, but not too overpowering. Very, very delicious. I'm super impressed by this sauce. Yeah. Wow. That's going to be another 9 for me. That's delicious. Truffle Hound hot sauce. Truffle Hound gourmet truffle sauce from Seed Ranch Flavor Co. out of Boulder, Colorado. Delicious. And again, that artwork is so phenomenal. So on this one, instead of there being flames by his shoulders, it's trees. Again, great artwork. Love how much it stands out. The heat on that one's maybe a 1 for me. Maybe for the average Joe, you're looking at like a 3. Just because of the ghost peppers and the chili de árbol. Fantastic flavor profile. Again, 9 out of 10 for me. Beautiful work over at Seed Ranch Flavor Company out of Boulder. Wow. That is impressive. I really wasn't. I didn't think I was going to be knocked out by the flavor profiles that well. Cheers. All right, so we're getting towards the tail end of the show here, but today I wanted to talk about, for the spicy sermon, I wanted to talk about commitment, kind of what that means. In the day and age that we're in today, we don't really have a whole lot of people that believe in a fortified version of commitment. And that's unfortunate because commitment should be something absolutely beautiful. It should be something that you're invested in, clearly. Something that's growing as you're investing into it. So, some of you have heard this story. Some of you haven't. But I'm going to tell it anyway. So, my parents were set up on a blind date. My dad was in a bowling league with my sister's mom. Or sorry, my mom's sister. And at one point, my dad asked, "Oh, well, do you have a sister?" And kind of jokingly, and my aunt answers back with a just as jokingly response, "Well, not for you, guy." And so eventually, numbers were exchanged, and my dad, was set up for a date with my mom, and while in the Navy, my dad had to call in and tell her that he had shore leave or something like that, to where he had to miss the date. So it was going to be a double date, blind date, and so instead of my aunt answering the phone, my mom answered the phone, and my mom and dad shared a phone conversation for like 6 to 8 hours. It was a very long time that they were on the phone for somebody that people that had never talked to each other before. And eventually my dad goes, "Well, we don't need babysitters if we're going to go on a date, do we?" And my mom goes, "No." So my dad invited my mom over to his place, made her a homemade dinner, and within an hour and a half, my dad popped the question. My dad asked my mom to marry him, and my mom sillily said yes. So I believe they just celebrated their 37th wedding anniversary, 38th wedding anniversary. They're still together, and that's because of commitment. It's because they made a decision that no matter what happened in life, they were going to stick by each other through thick and thin, through better and worse. And granted, it hasn't always been, rainbows and butterflies. There's been some down times. There's been, trials and tribulations, struggles, and things that you're given from somebody up top, and he only gives you stuff that you can handle. But it's making that commitment through those trials and tribulations, that knowing, like, I'm not going to run, you're not going to run, we're in this for the long haul, and through every endeavor, that bond then becomes that much stronger, because you can, if you can make it through those dark times, because there are going to be dark times, that's how life works, but you can't have light without the dark, and vice versa. If you're able to make those commitments to get through the dark times, then those light times, those blissful moments are that much better. And it's all about making that full-on commitment, and knowing that no matter what happens, I'm going to be there for that person, and we're going to make it through, and we're going to be better for it. I know a lot of people nowadays, divorce rates are like 50% or something like that. And that's crazy to me. I know, just getting out of a 10-year relationship myself, I gave it everything I had, so I was okay walking away with it, because I knew that the other party wasn't going to be continuing to put in an effort that was going to match that. But in order to for me, like, looking now for someone is, wanting somebody where this truly is going to be for the long haul. Somebody like my parents have, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody that's going to be through the thick and thin, who's going to love me for me, hold down that commitment, and really truly mean it when they say for better or worse, through richer for poorer, and truly mean that, and actually love that individual. And commitment is everything, and if you can give yourself to an individual, whether you're faith based or whether you're not, but commitment is commitment. And if both parties are willing to give an energy like that, it's one of the most beautiful things on this planet. And life is so finite in being able to find somebody to do that with. I don't think there's anything better. I know I'm very fortunate that my parents are still together. I have that example in front of me every day of knowing what real love looks like. And I'm very, very appreciative of that, and being able to see that example. So, we're getting towards the end of the show, guys. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a wonderful and safe St. Patty's Day. Don't drink and drive. There's always Uber or friends. I know I'd much rather get a phone call that you need a ride from the bar at 2 a.m. than doing something stupid and getting into a car when you shouldn't. So please be diligent and safe about that. Ian, you let me know, and I would love to review some Three Burly Guys. But yeah, everybody have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your Sunday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And as always, here on Church of Hot Sauce, may the spice be with you and also with you. Thank you, everybody. See you next Sunday.